What is up, Pharma family? How y'all doing today? Today, we are checking out one of my favorite paddles of all time, but this time, it's got a longer handle. So if you like two-hand backhands, this will be a better option for you. It's the Vatic Prism Flash long handled, the 14 and the 16 millimeter. I have a code for them. It's RHopkins10, RHOPKINS 10. Don't ask why it's that. I was dumb when I filled out the ambassador thing and forgot to change it. Yeah, but as y'all know, this is definitely my favorite budget paddle of all time, favorite control paddle of all time, and now it's got room for two-handed backhands. But yeah, let's get into this review. I'm just going to pop the specs up on the screen. If you've already seen, the Vatic Prisms, if you've seen 6-0s, double black diamond, you know what the shape is. This just has a little bit of the head cut off down at the bottom and the handle extended. But yeah, let's get into this review, y'all. I hope you've been doing good. First thing we're talking about when it comes to this Prism long handle version, the 14 and the 16, is the power or lack of power, to be honest. If you're playing with this paddle, you're not playing with it because of the power or anything like that. It's a hybrid shape. If you want a power paddle, you are going to go to an elongated shape. Or if you want power, you're probably going to go to a Gen 2 paddle. This doesn't have a lot of power, but if you have two-handed backhands, you can easily get two hands on this paddle. Now, when it comes to the 14, I felt the 14 millimeter had a little less power than the 16 millimeter, but just know you're not getting this paddle, for the power. In terms of pop, the 14 millimeter had a little bit more pop than the 16 millimeter, but like I said with the power, you're not getting this paddle for the pop either. You're getting it for the control. In terms of pop, all the Gen 2 paddles, they have way more pop than this. Most paddles on the market right now are going to have way more pop than this. So if you're looking for a poppy paddle, you need to move on. This is not for you. But if you're wanting something that doesn't have a lot of pop and is going to be easy controllable, like I'm about to mention next, this could be it. When it comes to the control of this paddle, like you heard me say in the intro, easily my favorite control paddle of all time. Like, there's nothing else I would even say is remotely close to it. Like, I know there's wide bodies that are Gen 2s that are leaning control, but this is pure control right here. If you want your drops, your dinks, everything to just be precise and super easy, this is a paddle that's going to do that. This, the Selkirk Lux, and a couple of others are literally the only options in terms of control that have came out recently or in the last year and a half. Before that, you just had regular Gen 1 paddles. And this is definitely a step up, from Gen 1, which means it's going to be a little less controllable. But if you were like any player in pickleball and you played for 2 or 3 months, you're going to be able to control this with ease. When it came to the RPMs and the spin, the 14 millimeter got 1908 RPMs and the 16 millimeter got 1884 RPMs. This is literally in the middle of the pack in terms of your raw carbon fiber paddles. If you're wanting something with spin, this is going to get a lot of spin, but it's not going to get like to the top 3 or top 5 in spin. But you're also not going to be griping and complaining about lack of spin either, like you would with the Adidas Metal Bone. So yeah, the RPM numbers are just average, which isn't really a bad thing. But yeah, it's not, crazy gritty and spinny like the Volair Mach 2 Forza, the Rhombus, R2 FX and stuff like that. But you're going to get enough spin if you're wanting a really, really good control paddle. When it came to the swing weight of these, the 16 millimeter was 116 swing weight and the 14 millimeter was 114 swing weight. Literally, like most of the other hybrids, it's not going to be hard to swing through the air unless you were like really, really, really small. That is the only way you're going to have any problems with it. And when it came to the weights, the 16 millimeter weighed 8.1 ounces and the 14 millimeter weighed 8 ounces. I have no value whatsoever in terms of weight unless it's like 8.7 or 8.8. And that's because at that point, it's going to affect the swing weight some. When it comes to the twist weight, the 16 millimeter had a 6.14 twist weight and the 14 millimeter had a 5.9 twist weight. Okay, compared to other hybrid shapes, this is definitely lower in terms of twist weight. And it's due to the fact that it has a longer handle and a smaller face, a paddle face. That's going to happen with any paddle. You cut off part of the bottom and you put a handle on it, the twist weight is going to suffer. The same with the sweet spot. The sweet spot is nowhere near as good as it is on the regular Vatic Prism Flash. So if you're wanting something with a bigger sweet spot, I would probably recommend you going to that because you can still technically fit 2 hands on there, just not as comfortably. But if hitting the sweet spot perfectly isn't going to be a problem for you, or somewhere near the middle, and you have a 2-hand backhand, this one could be for you. But for the majority of people, I think the sweet spot of the regular version and the size of the handle is going to be more beneficial to people, unless you're just a straight 2-handed person, and then it's like, you got to go for this, you know? In terms of value for your money, do I think it's worth it? Bro, don't be ridiculous. Of course it's worth it. It's a $100 paddle. It goes down to $90 with my code. It is one of the most controllable paddles on the market right now. If you're playing against the Yolas or the Vatic Oni, which is basically the big brother to this, you can use this to reset everything that they're going to put at you. This is like a counter to those paddles. But value for your money, definitely worth it. Easily one of the best values for pickleball, you know, in terms of paddles. So you got a 2-hand backhand and you're wanting something that's crazy controllable with good spin and really good swing weight. Like, it's not elongated, so it's not going to be a problem. But till next time, stay safe. Have a good day. Drink plenty of water. Peace, y'all.